everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully you will subscribe, hit the like button and the little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. So today we're going to revisit the worst date of my life. So before you start passing judgment, let me give you a little backstory. I was on Plenty of Fish, and I have learned since then that the guys on Plenty of Fish most of them are not what a woman would want. Okay, so I went on a date to a nice restaurant in Colonial Beach, and he was very mannerable, a gentleman. I felt safe with him. So I went on a second date with him to another fine dining experience in Colonial Beach, and the place was like packed, and it was summertime, and we were eating, and out of nowhere he starts talking about ducks getting raped. And I had never heard of this before. I didn't know that animals would do that. Evidently I did do some research, and yes, they do. So I thought that was not a good dinner conversation on the second date. You got to look out for these red flags, girls. He was also sweating profusely. I mean, dripping through his shirt. Okay. Let me fix my bra. Oh my God. My pad's a little bit crooked. Hold on. Fire. No one's going to know that my pad's crooked on my bra. Okay. Back to the story. So then, we hadn't even kissed, we hadn't even held hands, nothing. So then he proceeds to talk about women squirting. I can't say that out loud, it won't, the analytics will get me. I go, oh my God. That's a conversation you have when you're definitely a couple. And maybe then not even, I don't know. So, I didn't like it, and I kept asking him, why are you sweating so profusely? I said, do you have a medical condition? He goes, no. But nobody else was dripping with sweat, and the sweat kind of had this funky odor. Now, if you can imagine, it was like 3-day-old sweat when somebody doesn't wash their clothes. So I decided to block him. Next thing I know, he's at my place of business, which any guy who shows up at my place of business where I was employed, that is trouble. And I finished my shift, and he was outside sitting on a chair on the sidewalk, and I just got freaked out. So I asked someone to accompany me to my car, and I ignored him, and then I blocked him. Well, I have a tendency to not give people a second chance, and I know some of the best people in the world can turn out to be wonderful if you just give them a second chance. So 7 days later, because I had blocked him, I actually listened to the voicemail, and he was saying, oh, I am so sorry, please forgive me, I will be a gentleman, I swear. I saved that video, so I actually contacted him, and we decided, because he was so apologetic, he also put it in writing in a text that he would never do anything to make me feel uncomfortable. So stupid, naive me, I believed him. So then we planned this trip. It was just a family trip to Berkeley Springs with my brother and his wife and his children. This was a family event. And I told him about my brother's cabin, and I said, we can have a bed. There's 2 beds upstairs in the cabin. We can sleep in one and you in the other. But I said, it's a little warm. Well, because he's got a sweating problem, he goes, no, I can't do that. And then I kind of realized, yeah, he does have a problem. So he got a nice bed and breakfast in town, which is about 7 miles away. So I said, okay, now remember, I got it a verbal and I got it in writing that he is going to be a gentleman and not do anything that I wouldn't want him to do. So we check in to the hotel. I did introduce him to my brother, and we check into the motel and there's only one bed. So what the hell am I supposed to do? So I decided to wear all the clothes that I could possibly put on at night to go to bed with him. Now, he wasn't sexy at all. I didn't have feelings for him sexually in any way. But because he had a CPAP machine, that was a turnoff right there. You know, because I don't know. The CPAPs are not sexy, people. So the first night he's trying to touch me and stuff, and I just act like I'm asleep, right? So so then we go and spend the day with my brother, and on the way there, my brother's cabin's on a hill. I noticed this guy, here was the heat of the summer, and he didn't have any flip-flops. Well, even before we got to the cabin, we had a flat tire, and this guy is so goddamn stupid. He is taking the spare tire that had been in the trunk of my Cobra for 20 years, and he's putting that on. It's like we're sweating horribly. This is on top of his normal sweat. And I go, there's no air in this tire. So then we had to, a cop pulled over and helped us go get air in this donut. The car I have now don't even have a spare. My granddaughter thinks that's a little funny. I don't think it has a spare. The Cadillac. So now we're going on the second night. But while we were pulling up to my brother's cabin, I couldn't see my brother's truck, and I didn't want to go any further unless I knew he was there. But I did see his truck underneath the trees. Well, we're on a hill with gravel on each side, and I don't know if you know, but a Cobra Mustang's doors are very heavy and very long. This guy, he always wanted to take a nap after we just woke up. And I would tell him, I said, we just woke up. Now you're going to take another nap. It's because he wanted to get me in the bed, people. So the minute we pulled up to my brother's cabin, he jumps out because he wants to go lay down and take a nap again. And he swings open that door and it wedges in the gravel. And now I got a clutch, right? Real race cars got clutches, right? He gets out. Now we just bought him some flip-flops, and he pulled off his socks, and they were brown instead of white, and they were funky ass socks. Oh my God. So I had to smell that in the middle of it. And then I told him, I said, get away from the car. He was standing on the hill. Now he says, oh, just go forward or backward. No matter what I had done, because he's such an idiot, it would have ripped my door off. It would have buckled it. So I put it in park, put on the emergency brake, went outside while this dorkhead is watching me. And I am now shoveling the gravel away from the door bottom. Then I was able to close it and comfortably get out of that situation. So the second night when we were in the bed and breakfast, he took a 45-minute shower. I know this because I timed him. I had nothing else to do, so I just timed him. How long is this guy going to be in this shower? I hope he gets the funk off. So now this whole time he's foaming at the mouth like he's got freaking rabies, and I had to call him out on this. I have to call out a lot of men on some of their stupidity. I said, why are you foaming at the mouth? Have you been bit by a rabid fox or something? Oh no, it's the mints I'm eating. Evidently he had a chronic bad breath. So he's got these white mints, and it looks like he's been bit by a rabid fox. So, okay, so Now keep in mind, the 2 breakfasts that we ate there, it was included in with the bed and breakfast, and he wasn't leaving the waitress a tip. Any man who can't figure out a tip or leave a tip for a waitress, which is one of the hardest working people out there, is an imbecile. I took $5 out of my purse and left it on the table for her. So then I knew this was that's another red flag. So the second night, he finally comes to bed, and now, of course, I've got as many clothes on as possible. He lays in the bed with a CPAP machine, excuse me, and he takes his pants off, and he starts stroking to the east, stroking to the west, to the one I love the best. Oh my God, now I'm freaking out. I had not seen that ever in my entire life. I am now cringing. I want to throw up. And he puts his hand over on my side and he says, well, if you're not going to do anything, can I just look at it? And I go, oh my God. And I came up with the perfect response. I said, trust me, it's beautiful. And then I made my mind up to leave this jackass as fast as I could. Now, my sister-in-law had already tried to get me out of there with but I drove my car. She was trying to get him a train or something. At that point, I could give a shit how he got home, because we were 4 hours away from our residences. So the next morning, we were at breakfast again. Of course, he doesn't tip the waitress, and for the first time in my life, I actually called somebody a name. I said, you are a creep. And he got really upset and shocked, like he didn't know he was a creep. I think most creeps know they're a creep. He runs upstairs and he puts a CPAP machine on. And I'm going, oh my God. So when his back was turned to the wall with this machine, it looked like some elephant trunk. I grabbed my suitcases, threw them down a set of stairs, put them in my Mustang, and here he comes out. He had, I guess, taken off his pants again. Why do you have to take off your pants to put on a CPAP machine? I don't know. He came running downstairs. Now I'm already in my car and I'm getting ready to pull out of the parking lot. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm leaving. I said, go back upstairs, do your business with your CPAP machine. I am out of here. And I left him. I went and stayed in my brother's cabin for another 3 or 4 days. When I got back to my residence in Colonial Beach, he still hadn't found a way home, but it wasn't my problem. So I hope you got a little chuckle. Don't make the mistakes that I made, ladies or men. If there's a couple red flags, you need to address them. And that's when I realized, don't give anybody a second chance if you're in the beginning of a relationship, because it's going to get worse. And it did get worse for me. All right, bye.